I just had a message from the YouTube about moderators letting people do live chats while you. It's just a message about how to control who accesses live chats when you. And I was reading it and I didn't know whether it was going through or not. And whether it puts the message up when you actually have already pressed live. So I thought I'd read it later. I said read later. Anyways. Now I didn't know if it was on or not. And hello. The other day I went to do a live and I'm pretty sure it was after church. No, it wasn't. What's today? Saturday. Oh, mom. It was Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday. It was Wednesday afternoon. I went to do a live when I was walking along the Burloin River. And it was, just wouldn't work. Couldn't get access down there. Thought it was something to do with my data actually, but it wasn't. It was just to do with the Wi-Fi access down that way. Because today it all seems fine. But what I did do the other day was a video, and it's funny with videos, you just think, am I going to post it or not? And I remember when I did the video saying, I may or may not post this. And I just left it sitting there. And the thing is, what I did discuss with this, the navigating the journey of belonging, it was the same topic in my video. And I was talking about the difference between when it is a live and when it is a video, because with the video, no one's watching as you're talking. Oh no, something different about it. And for those of you who don't do YouTube, I don't think you have an idea what it feels like. YouTube lives, when you're discussing personal stuff, can be quite scary. And obviously, you can not set it to public and delete it if you think it's not good enough. But whilst you're doing it, it's active. Anyone can listen to it. So it's very courageous. It's a very courageous way of communicating with the world. So today, compared to Wednesday, I did share a lot of stuff on the video. Just in case I post the video, I don't want to double up on topics, but I was actually discussing the different ways of crying and how I've noticed certain times the tears are thick and sticky and really hot, and other times they're more thinner but still really hot, and other times they're just really watery, and other times they're really salty. And I was wondering if there's a different energy behind the different types of crying. And I was talking about all the different releases that I have, all the different emotional journeys that I go through. I think he must have found a rabbit. Alvin! I don't know if you saw him running. Alvin! Come on! Yeah. Anyways, what am I trying to say to you? Come on! Alvin, quick! Anyways, sorry about that. I know it must be loud on the eye. Definitely a little animal in there. Anyways, oh gosh, everyone. This is why I kept thinking I should do my lives at home. I just walked up a big hill just there, and it's a bit of a hot day this afternoon. And also, what we've got is, I think winter's ending. Pretty sure winter's ending. And, it's pretty big. So, winter's been hard. It's really, really, really hard surviving winter in the wheat belt. The nights get so cold. It's a very challenging time. But what I'm wondering, with these cycles of tears and cycles of, with these cycles that we have to live, yeah, there's so much I want to share, everyone. So much I want to share. It's hard to know what to share sometimes. But I've been discussing with a few people about this topic of belonging, and I realise it's a topic that impacts everyone. So some people are definitely belonging, so use quotation marks, belonging into a cult-like situation. So it might be a situation where they feel like that they all. Oh, this is the wind coming in. It's hard to explain. Belonging isn't authentic. It's based on, control and habit, patterns, routine, systems, familiarity. So they feel like they belong to something, but it's not a true belonging. So true belonging is something that some friends and I and this other lady and I have been discussing. It's something. A lot of us get that feeling of belonging when we surrender to God, but apart from God, it's one of those, I know that there are people out there that have really healthy, loving, truthful marriages, and where they're really good friends, really amazing lovers, and they work really well as a team. They do exist. They're the rarity. Most people are very lonely, loveless marriages where they're just there for the sake of looking a certain way, like the two to live alone, or they don't want to break up their assets, or they've got a pretty good business deal going on, like they might run a business together, so they work pretty well as companions on that sort of level. There might be a baseline element of respect or some sort of commonality, but there's no true love, there's no true intimacy, there's no true there's no real belonging. Like, they don't even show each other their truth. So how can you truly belong to a relationship if you're not even showing your true authentic being? And that is probably the majority of marriages, and the majority of family dynamics, and the majority of work relationships, and the majority of friendships. And like, seriously, a lot of people choose not to show their true self. They're too fearful. They're way too fearful. Come on, quick. They're way too fearful to show their true self. Come on, hurry up. Oh my gosh, we're having a bit of a disaster today because Alvin just chased a rabbit and then he got stuck behind a fence. I'm letting him work out how to get through the fence because, seriously, it's a skill that he needs to learn. Come on! Like, seriously, if you can get through the fence to chase the rabbit, you can get back through the fence, as far as I'm concerned. So he'll work it out. He's 18 months. It's about timing. And Zena's worked it out. She's a very clever dog. Alvin's clever too, just not as clever as the other one. The other one's her intellect's next level. Anyways, oh lordy. Okay, this belonging. You can even talk about dog packs if you want, and humans and dogs. It's a big topic, everyone, and I don't know about you. Something went wrong. I'm having internet issues. I've been discussing this with a few different people, and I've been going through a lot of emotional turmoil about it. Pretty much, I think, or every time, the bottom line truth is when I'm not when I don't have equilibrium and I'm feeling despair, and I reckon it'd be the same for you if you really think, if you go deep to the crux of what is causing the sadness, I think you'll all find that it comes down to the sense of belonging. Where does one belong? And some people struggle with this need to be approved of and accepted, and that's real, third dimensional, ego based sort of, we don't want to go there. Come on, Alvin. We don't want to go there, basically. That's a next level. I find that nauseating, but there's a lot of people there that want to act a certain way and be a certain way in order to be approved of and accepted, and they'll do anything to belong. They'll sell their soul to belong. They'll allow themselves to transform from a beautiful butterfly and regress to be a maggot in order to partake in eating disgusting bullshit to belong, when they were eating pollen before, fluttering around flowers and having this beautiful life. So there's that type of belonging. And we can't have this discussion without discussing that part of it, because a lot of people go, oh, I belong to this amazing church, or I belong to this amazing family. Well done, Alan, finally. Well done. I belong to this amazing sports club. I belong to this. A lot of people say, I belong to. And they really want to be accepted into that group. And there are parts of that are healthy, yes. So it's a big topic. And this is what I said in my video. It's a really big topic. How do you separate the unhealthy belonging? Okay, so there's a lot of people who are in dynamics that are very dysfunctional, but they belong. They're belonging to something. They belong. They're part of something. But they're not at all authentic within themselves or with the others. So where is the real belonging? There is none. Belonging to what? Some facade? Some illusion? And then the thing about football clubs and horse clubs and things like that, that sense of when there's a healthy interaction, or a cooking club, or, my church, it's a really healthy church. But even in my healthy church, I can see dysfunctional dynamics in that. I'm highly intuitive, highly empathic. So I can see, for example, there was this person that approached me a certain way many months ago, and I didn't feel like it was very Christian at all. And when I mentioned it to someone, they said, yeah, well, you've got to watch out for the wolves in sheep clothing. And it doesn't matter where you are, there's someone that doesn't have integrity. So you can't necessarily judge the community by that one, the community of that group by that one person. So I belong to a church, yes. I belong to a group of lovely friends. Like if I put on a gathering, they would do everything they could to come. I've got other friends, if they invite me to a gathering, I do everything I can to come, because we are a group of really lovely friends. And we often bring someone else who doesn't know the other. So there's something about that. Okay, so, but the belonging that's been causing my deep despair, that I believe also causes people who are truly authentic within their feelings deep despair, that sense of belonging, is it an unmet childhood need? Like, say, a person who grows up and they don't have proper loving. I talked about this in my video as well. I talked about when you grow up in a family dynamic that isn't functional. So I grew up in a authentic family dynamic. Like, there's no game playing, there's no line, there's no manipulation, there's no obligation, there's no cultism. It's very authentic, extremely truthful and extremely authentic. We all say it for what it is, and we're close in the sense that we love each other. However, we are not a functional family. We're a very unconventional family. We don't like a lot of how a lot of families can be, but you've got to realise a lot of these families that look normal, they are so dysfunctional. There's so much nastiness and evilness and corruption and bullying and unspoken secrets and skeletons in the closet, and there's no love. There's no love there. So it might look like a good family on the outside, and then a lot of us compare, oh, that's what a family is. That's what, people who, like a family who meets up every Christmas, for example, is supposedly a normal family. But how bizarre, that family doesn't actually love or care about each other. I just got a message. If they don't really love or care about each other, their true essence, and then they complain, they dread the Christmas day, and then they can't wait to get away from it. How is that normal? So I find that interesting. So my family, we don't meet up for Christmas every Christmas. We don't do anything out of obligation. And my situation, as a lot of you know, is I grew up with an unassessed autistic mother, or something else. If it's not autism, it's something else. But she couldn't do the basics like cook, clean. So I was the parent at 7. I became the parent. I had to become the parent because my mother literally couldn't do it. And her way of surviving in society, she doesn't do it now. She gave up when I was 21. But for her way of surviving for a long time was to drink alcohol. And she didn't handle alcohol very well. So not only was she autistic, she also was weak. She just couldn't do the bare basics, and she couldn't cope. She couldn't do. So I did, and not because she didn't want to. She just didn't have the ability to, and she didn't have the empathic ability to love. She wanted to love, she just didn't know how to. She asked me what it looks like, how it should be. So she tried so hard. She really did try so hard. So in that regard, and she did everything she could to protect us, I can tell you that. Even though a lot of horrible things were happening to her as well. So I know our mother loves us to pieces, but we did not have a normal childhood, okay? No way it wasn't normal. Or no way was it good or healthy. I'm sorry, I can't say it was good or healthy. I don't know, everyone. It's a big topic. We'll talk about it again. The video that I did 3 days ago was a really good one, actually. The video I did the other day was a really, really good one, and it made me realise I think this is a topic that we're going to have to talk about a lot. Because when we surrender to God, we belong to God. We become a child of God. And the peace that we feel when we surrender to God is a peace that I don't think any of us feel any other way, because it's the only true belonging we can ever really have. Because I don't think we ever can really feel that sense of belonging with family, with parents, or with siblings, or with our own children, or with spouses, or with friends, or with work colleagues. Now, I do know many of us have really healthy dynamics. I have some absolutely amazing friendships, like truly authentic, truly honest, truly transparent, truly supportive, next level brave. Like, the connection is true. It's a genuine connection. And I know a lot of people don't have that type of friendship. So I know that I've got a connection with friends that's something, that it's godly. It's a very godly connection I have with most of my friends. My family members, it's a very loving relationship, but I wouldn't say we're connected. We're not connected. And I don't feel like I belong to my family. Like, I don't feel like we belong to each other. We don't have that type of family. And yes, there is a lot of sadness around that. However, I would rather my family any day than these despicable charades that I've seen. I've seen it quite a few times. People pretending, they look a certain way, be a certain way, but they just speak so horribly about each other, to each other's faces, behind each other's backs. They do nothing to help each other out. They're sabotaging each other. They do it in these subtle ways that don't look so obvious. Sometimes they'll be really obvious about it, and no one holds anyone to account or lets any yield, and it can be called Groundhog Day. It's always exactly the same. The conversations are exactly the same. It's just a charade. It's a complete charade. So, but they meet up every year, Easter and Christmas. Yeehaw, we're family. So that's a charade. That's a charade plus, and it's interesting because when I was younger, I used to look at the normal side of life and the normal way of people being, and I used to want that, you know. And then I realised, no, what I've experienced is way healthier, way better. I've experienced true love. My mother loves me, loves me, loves me with her heart and soul, loves me. When you're loved by your parent, you know, and she wasn't able to give me the bare basics of my needs. She couldn't clothe me, feed me, make me safe. She loved me. And I always knew she loved me. I didn't always know she loved me. When I was younger, I didn't understand what was going on. But when we started talking about it in detail when I was a teenager, and she explained to me what was going on for her brain and her body, and because we had an authentic relationship, and I'd say, I feel this, I feel that, blah, 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 blah. We would heal it, you know, all right. Every single one of my family members, if I have a conversation with them, it would be nothing but honest and truthful, and we say the full truth, even if it means we don't have a connection. I have a brother that I have nothing to do with. I can't stand him, and I've told him so. Can't stand a lot of the way he is. A lot of us have said it to him, you know, but we still love him. But we're like, no, I don't have an ounce of energy for him. Not an ounce of energy. He's just someone, we might be blood related, but, you know, I don't owe him anything. He doesn't owe me anything. I don't feel like I belong to him. My mother's so honest. She said to me, she lives in Tasmania. I said, oh, Mum, I'd love to come visit you, Rara. She goes, well, if you do come visit, just 10 minutes. I don't like people in my house for more than 10 minutes. She really doesn't like being around people. She's had such a hard life. She's had a really abusive life. She's had so much abuse in her life. And now her life is really simple. And she just keeps it simple. She just watches movies, reads books. I think she gets online delivery. She never leaves the house. She doesn't even go at the front to take the bins out. My eldest brother does all that. So she really doesn't want people in her space. She's happy to talk on the phone, but she doesn't want them in her home, except for the youngest brother. And I love her honesty. And I say, thanks, Mama Bear, for letting me know that. And I said, well, if that's the case, then I don't see the point in coming to Tasmania. She goes, yes, that's okay. And like with Christmas, she doesn't want anyone around. She doesn't want the kids around like all her. She's got lots and lots of young grandchildren. I've got lots of sisters who've had lots of children. So she's really honest like that. And some of my sisters are like, oh, Mum doesn't want us to come around for Christmas. Why doesn't she want to see the grandchildren? I said, because she doesn't like the noise. She doesn't like the rambunctiousness. She doesn't want to converse with people. She likes phone calls because she can just shut it down when she's ready and go into her own space. It's how she is. She's not being disrespectful at all. She's the opposite. Because she's been so honest, she's been self-loving of herself and self-loving of everyone around her. I love my mum so much and she loves me so much. But I can tell you right now, the other day when I really needed a mum, do I have a mum I can ring? If I need motherly energy, can I go to my mother for motherly energy? No. And I can tell you there's a lot of people I know who have quite lovely relationships with their parents. Not all, not a lot, sorry, some. One of them is Tamara. I've actually mentioned her before. She's got a really amazing relationship with her mum. And I've acknowledged that to her, and she's thanked me for the acknowledgement because it is a true rarity and a true blessing. And I love seeing her photos and hear how she discusses her relationship. And I can live vicariously through her relationship. But we don't all have that. We don't all have the same experiences in life. I'm not going to be jealous of what she's got. I just love that I can see what it's like through her photos and how she talks about it face to face and over Facebook. Anyways, blah blah. So lots of topics around this belonging, but I realised my deepest, come on, I think they're in front. I realised my deepest despair is from belonging, wanting to belong, and I had to do a lot of healing around belonging to what. Thank you, darling. Basically, I don't want to belong to anything dysfunctional, that's for sure. And I don't want to belong to anything that is status quo normal, that is being perceived as what we should all attain, because most of that's just lies. Like, there is a lot of sexual abuse, a lot of incest that happens in families, and some of these are families that look upstanding, and a lot of DV happens, a lot of financial abuse, control, and something that can look really good on the outside. If you're truly one of my clients, I have all these clients gardening. One of my clients said, I've got all these plants in my, I've got all these extra plants in my front garden now in pots to be delivered, because one of my friends, Rah, has had to leave a DV situation. Rah, we're talking about a lady late 60s, 70s or whatever. And then this client of mine goes, and who would know? I never knew. I said, well, isn't it good that you at least know now? Isn't it good that your friend actually reached out now to let it all go now? So 20, 30 years of this relationship, trying to look a certain way, be a certain way, but she was living a lie. So anyways, that's one thing. Normalcy is nothing to strive for or to want to be part of. Most things that are normal are actually riddled with abuse, riddled with forms of codependency or narcissism, some form of inauthenticity. I'd say most things that we perceive as normal are nothing that we want to attain to. What we want to attain is authenticity, truthfulness, honesty, love, true connection. I've got these connections with people that have gotten to such a wonderful level of authenticity because we are prepared to have the hard conversations. And sometimes these relationships stop. Sometimes I have a friendship that I lose it for a year, or sometimes it permanently gets lost. But usually it just gets lost for a while, and then the person, when they work out stuff, and I've got stuff to work out too, usually the other person has to really work something out. When that happens, then we can move to the next level, the next way of being. And then if I find there's a repeat of something, I have actually let go of a lot of friendships recently. But about 6 months ago, 6 months ago, or 5 months ago. Anyways, what actually happened was I said to all these people, doof, 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 because with the power of God in me, God wants me to only have people in my life who honour me, see my value, honour me, and enhance my life. So this one particular person, or two people in particular, I had this very honest conversation with them, and I very honestly said, this is how I feel about our interaction. I feel there's this imbalance here, 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 and here, and here. This is what I'm needing. What do you want to do about it? And I put it in their court. What do you want to do about it? Because these are my needs. Because God really requires me to honour my needs, to step up and honour my self-value, my needs, my self-love. This has been the biggest lesson I've ever had. This is why the whole YouTube channel has been about me learning how to self-love. And God asked me to do this YouTube channel to help you learn to self-love, because the bottom line of self-love is we do not tolerate behaviours or being spoken to or interactions from a place of fear, or from a place of not feeling like we've got to prove something, or we're not good enough, or we need to be coming from, in every situation, from a place of knowing our worth, knowing how lovable and loving we are, knowing that in all ways the interactions and whatever it is that we're part of needs to come from a place of love of ourselves, love of the other, love of the world, love of God. This is the bottom line, everyone. It's the bottom line. And I held these people to account because I needed to do that for myself. I needed to say, I need this, 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 and this, and this. Hopefully you're able to want to be part of that, And I've had one person a little bit try, and the other one just completely and utterly give up. And I don't mind. The one who gave up, I don't mind, because I've given them too many chances for too long anyways. And I was feeling these like messages from God for a long time with this one person. This one particular friendship I had, it was just going, Zenabina, it was going on for too long in a way that I felt like my needs were, my rights. There was actually, some people have actually seen it happen face to face, seen it happen between me and this other person. Other people have heard about me express it. Yeah, and there was definitely something there that wasn't healthy. And that's a really hard friendship to let go of, because that was a friendship where that was one friendship that was really helping me move ahead in life with my, there's a lot of things in life that I can't do on my own. And this particular person, not only did they have the skill set, but they also had they had the ability and the tools. And so together when we worked, we achieved amazing outcomes. But there was always this underlying current of something that I didn't like. And I was just tolerating it. You know, I was just accepting it, thinking, no, it's all right. But then I was like, no, it's not all right. I don't like it. It makes me feel irky. Okay, so if I'm feeling irky no more, even though I lose out having my, now everything's going to be so much harder by letting that friendship go. Everything in my life's actually going to be harder, because now I don't have that person to help me move forward in life. And it's true, like, to try to find someone else that I can do all the work I did with this person. So yeah, there's just, everything's just come to a standstill, because not everything, but a lot of things in my life have actually come to a standstill because I haven't got that support person to help me move forward in these activities that I required the assistance with. I was the assistant. The person had all the skill and all the tools. I was the labourer, but we got so much done. So yeah, that was a sad thing to let go of, but this is about the self-honour and about the belonging, like to only have true, authentic friendships, true, authentic connections. It's worthwhile letting go, like letting go of what we think is serving us. If we're getting a payoff, but we don't feel like the friendship is real or the connection is authentic, it's better to let the payoff go, in my opinion, and trust that God will provide another who can come into that space, who can help us out as much, or that person that we let go of does a lot of healing through God and is able to come back, and the dynamic can be recreated in a godly way where everyone's needs are being met. So that's one thing. I don't know if that makes sense. That was a big one, and I don't grieve that friendship very much, because I'm like, everything's come to a standstill with my home, and not everything, but a lot of things on my home have come to a standstill because I don't have the physical support to get things done. However, on a mental and physical level, I'm healing leaps and bounds, because I'm only choosing to be around people who enhance my soul, who actually help heal my soul and help me feel I think I've explained that enough, haven't I? There's an equine thing over here, lots of horses everywhere. And Alvin, I'll show you. Oh, maybe I'll just turn it around. Hang on. The wind's gone. Oh. Alvin. See? I think you missed the horses. I'll see if they come back. They might come back. Oh yeah, here they are. Hang on. There's actually a heap of them. Oh, I don't know if you can see them. I don't know what you can see, sorry. But Alvin, Zena, come on. Zena. No, I'm not going to go over there. If they go through the fence, there's too many horses there, and there's some of them. Come on, thank you. Too many horses, and hey, hello. Yeah, too many horses, and Zena, stay near. Zena, stay near. Come on, Alvin, come on, Alvin. Yeah, I don't want them. Come on, thank you. I don't want them chasing a horse. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't, but it'd be awful if they did, especially if someone's riding it and the horse bucks and stuff. Anyways, loves, I might leave. I might go back to the seat for a little bit and wrap it up sitting down, because it's a big topic, and I've been grieving like crazy, everyone. I don't know about you, but oh wow, finding life such a challenge. And you know, the amazing thing is I have this sense of real, true, come on, blessings. Everything's a blessing. Today I was doing a heap of work on the house, on the yard actually, and as I was doing the work, because it's just so much to do, so it's a lot of work to do on that property, and you know, I work really hard as a gardener, and I do hop shop duty, which is just hard on my body, and I just have a lot of physical pain, and then my house just feels too much, the yard feels too much. And then today there's so many times where I almost collapsed on the ground, like all my body strength was gone. I wanted to collapse on the ground and just give up. And then instead of doing that, I was like, screaming at the top of my lungs, like, really loud, like as I could scream. So many times, I think I did that 6 or 7 times. So much frustration. And I went, God, I've had enough! And I don't know what the neighbours were thinking, but I literally had enough. I'm like, God, this is too much. I'm over it. I can't handle it. It's too much. I've had enough. I literally have had enough. And, you know, every time I pray for what direction to take, how to go, where to be, I keep getting the information. Just keep working on your home. Trust me, I'm providing support. Trust me, you're not alone. I mean, and I had beautiful things happen, like one of my friends asked me if her son could come and chop wood. And I was like, yeehaw, thank you. So I run out of wood. I haven't had any wood for a few days now, and it's a bit challenging. I had some stuff in my car because I helped out the op shop. I needed to get some wood 2 days ago, but the ute was completely full of stuff, so I could have got a load from Lloyd's. So it's not like I haven't got the money to buy, even though the money needs to go on so many other things. Issue is also I can go out to the farm. My boss has said I can go out to Gidgegannup any time and collect wood. Come on. Chainsaw it up and collect it. I've just got to drive out there, make it happen. So I can't really complain about the wood scenario. What was I going to say to you? Oh, yeah. I haven't got any wood for my friend's son to chop at the moment, but he came around last week and chopped a heap. So it was really cool. And my boss found out he does retic. He does retic for people's jobs, so I was thinking, he does tree lopping as well, and I've got to make enough money that I can pay him, but I realised he's very busy, but I can fit him in as a worker on my property. I can get him to help me so I've got to cut trees back from the the electricity lines. I've got to, there's so much to do. So I realised God's given me him not just an amazing boss, but I believe I could actually ask him if he'd like to do some work on my property and help me out, and I'd pay him per hour. I'm getting enough work with him that I'll be able to start saving up to pay him to work on the land soon. Just at the moment I've got too many car things I've got to do. So anyways, yeah, the car needs a major service. I need new tyres and stuff, and rego and stuff. But anyways, it's all happening, everyone. And yeah, the support is there. God is giving. I'm not alone. Like when I say God, I feel so alone, and I'm on my own. It's too hard. The truth of the matter is, God has provided some pretty amazing support, and I can't complain. This is the thing, is I can't complain. I feel my blessings all the time. But I was speaking to this lady the other day, and she says, you have every right to complain though, because you know you work really hard, you're in physical pain all the time, you're barely, you're not making ends meet, so you work really hard, but you don't have enough to pay for the bare basics, let alone extra. So it's like going behind, sliding behind. So even though I'm working really hard, what I have to pay, my life is more expensive than what my income is, you know, with rates and land rates and dog costs and car costs, and it's actually a lifestyle that is very difficult to do on one's own. If you've got a few people working together, collaborating financially, it can be a lot more doable. So yeah, that side of it gets really overwhelming. And she said, so you do have actually every right to complain, and you're not undermining your blessings by saying this is hard. So I was like, well, thank you for that permission, because the last thing I'd ever want to do is be ungrateful for my blessings. I feel really blessed all the time. It's like that what I was saying before in one of my videos, 1 foot in angst and 1 foot in joy. And so today when I was screaming, I was like, thank you God for this beautiful day. So even as I'm screaming, I'm like, thank you God for this beautiful day and the ability to get on top of all these chores that need to be done, and for this ability to have this beautiful walk with the dogs. We've had some really rainy, foggy days. We've had some really foggy weather, and we've had some really rainy days. And then look at today. Look at today. It's just stunning. Yeah. So the belonging one, everyone will talk about more. How long have I been talking for now? 42 minutes. It's a really big topic, and the more I talk about it with people, the more we're going. Sorry. The more I talk about it with various people, the more we unpack it more. I realise it's a big topic for everyone. One of my friends, my friend that her son chops wood for me, she grew up in a Christian family that they all stood around the piano and sung. But as a family, they actually stood around the piano and sung songs, Christian songs, and did Bible reading every morning or once a day. It's really amazing upbringing, like an authentic Christian upbringing, not a false Christian. There are a lot of false Christians out there. Pietism is not godly. Anyways, yeah, she's just had this amazing upbringing, and it's just so beautiful when she's in this really. Her and her husband together for 10 years before they had their first child, and it's just beautiful. It's really beautiful. And she shared to me a lot of her pains, you know, and yeah, and she never negates. We never. She says, you know, basically, doesn't matter how amazing someone's life is, everyone's still got a pain to bear. So it's really cool. I realise this is what we've got to get to, not comparing. Not, oh, my pain is worse than yours. Oh, not, I feel less belonging than you. Not, my life is harder than you. None of that. That's a narrative that just, and that's what people are saying to me, Nadina, you are blessed. Of course you're blessed. You also have the right to complain. You have a pain. There's a big, legit scenario in my life that's just absolutely, you know, horrifying. and everyone acknowledges how horrifying it is. And they're all acknowledging that I don't need to hide the grief of that or the ongoing pain of that. I'm not negating my blessings because I'm honouring my complaints, but I'm not my complaints don't identify me. They don't shape me. I can tell you right now, the more I let the feelings come up as they come up, like the crying, as soon as it wants to happen, I just let it happen. That yelling I did today, and I just think this is the way to be. If we can just get it out, I don't know when it's going to end. I don't know when my body is going to not have so much grief to work through. But what I do know is that my grief is okay, and I'm not succumbing to ungratefulness by having these times of grief and this sense of belonging. Is it Albany? This sense of Alvin. You gonna say hello? Can you see Zena? I don't know. Anyways, everyone. Oh yeah, it's a bit much. It's a bit much. It goes. See, life is challenging. One of my friends said to me, life is challenging. That's what life's supposed to be. Like when you're a child of God and you're living a life, a true, authentic life, life will always be challenging. Life is the only people where they don't have challenges are the ones who do the even keel thing. They numb out and they're actually half dead. They're zombies. People who you probably know a lot of them. People just have to always watch TV. They always have to have the TV on. In my opinion, people play computer games fit into that category. Time and place for a computer game, but if you're addicted to it, you're not really in life. Numbing out, people who numb out. There's a lot of people who numb out and they're not really feeling life or really living life, and so their challenges don't go as deep because they're just skimming the surface. But they have the challenge of life of there's no meaning. But this lady said to me the other day, but these people, they don't realise there's no meaning. They're so shallow that they don't realise that they have no meaning. She goes, hey, for them, it's like this real life. They don't even realise what they're missing out on. That's actually another topic for another story. I think, wow, how can people be that stupid? That stupid that they want to be that shallow. But she says it's just easy for them. They're too fearful of what it is to be authentic. They're too fearful of what it is to really feel in their heart, to go into their heart, to actually feel the sun on their skin and to enjoy that sun, to actually feel the warmth and just be in that moment, hearing the birds. They just won't do it. They refuse to be present in their body. They refuse to be in the moment and present in their body and aware of their feelings and aware of their thoughts and aware of their soul. So they're always living a facade, a charade and a facade. So those people, sometimes it looks like their life doesn't have as many challenges, but it's because they're actually not living. They're zombies. They're corpses. They're not living a real life. There's a lot of people that do that. It's really sad. It's one of the saddest things to see, actually. Anyways, we'll leave it at that. Belonging is a big one. And true belonging. So I think there's a difference between just belonging and true belonging. So the distinction of true belonging is the one that God will help me share more on the YouTube channel, because that's what I think we all need to be striving for. Because the true belonging of being a child of God, I believe God wants us to replicate that in real life, out with our friends and our family and our spouses and our children. But you can only get to that place of true belonging if the other is also being authentic and brave and in their heart. So you can't have that true belonging with another if the other is... I don't know if you can see all the dirt on my face. I didn't realise how dirty I was. Sorry, I've been gardening. I've been out weeding all day. I did not... Actually, sorry. It wasn't until I just looked at myself and I realised how dirty my face was. Yeah, I've been working in the dirt. Oh, gosh. The weeds, so big at the moment. Big backyard. Anyways, belonging. We feel a sense of belonging to ourselves. We have to feel content in our own body, within our own self. So obviously we've got to feel a sense of belonging to self, to us. And we can't be over-reliant on another, and we can't be having these codependency needs. I do. It was in my video. I discussed it in detail, actually. I might post that video still. I'm not sure. So I talked to God about it, and I talked to my friends about it, and I have a real need for physical contact, like physical. I get a lot of hugs. I have a lot of friends, and we hug each other, and some of my friends and I, we even massage each other, so that's really nice. We don't really like just little short neck ones. Need a lot more than that. But I'm a real sensuous person. I'm one of these people that just loves to snuggle up to my beloved, and I just love that physical contact of being in my arm, my love in my arms, or I'm in my love's arms, and the kissing and the physical. Hey, are you having fun? Just the kissing and the caressing and the hugging, the intimate hugging, the hugging that you have with your love. See, some people don't know what real love is. And this is another interesting thing. This lady said to me the other day, I'm not going to pretend that I don't know what you're going through because I haven't felt true love. And I looked at her and went, thank you so much for your honesty. And then I said, do you feel like it's sad that you haven't felt true love? And she looked at me and yes, she did have sadness. And she said, we didn't discuss that for very long, sorry, but we said I could see in her eyes that she could see in my eyes that the joy of feeling true love, even though the pain of to feel true love means you can feel true despair. But the joy of feeling true love is something that most people, or a lot of people, don't experience. And she really identified that she can't understand my despair because she doesn't know what it's like to have a broken heart from your true love, making very poor decisions, like choosing to shut down the heart, like going to a maggot state. That's what I said to this lady. It's like going into a maggot, transcending to a maggot in order to eat away on all the rotten cesspit poo. Like all these people, they need to be poo to survive. They need bullshit to survive. They need drama and lies and negativity and nastiness to survive. If they don't have that, they can't cope. So, what was the point of that? The point of that was that she when she mentioned that, I will not lie. I won't pretend to understand your despair because I don't know what it's like to be in love. And so what I've been saying to her and some other people, I really, like, my thing that I'm working on that's causing the hardest pain for me is trying to make my heart fall out of love. I'm trying to break my heart, shut my heart down from a real true love space. But I'm such a loving person that to shut the love in my heart down, it's like a death. It's like I have to kill a part of myself. And I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to shut down love. And in that sense of belonging, when you really love someone, when you truly love someone, and they truly love you, but they've got too much fear. They love love, but at the same time they're fearful of love. So they go into love, but then they keep withdrawing. And in God's grace, it all can be healed. Anyone can be healed. Everyone can be healed in God's grace. So that all is healable. And that if you truly shut your heart down to that person, or whoever it is, we'll discuss this another time. This belonging thing is really bizarre. Like truly belonging to a true love, truly belonging within a sphere of true love is one of the most godly, esoterical, divine experiences I've ever experienced in my life. And I'm grateful that I've experienced it. Like, I'm grateful that I actually had that experience. It's very painful to have it taken away, of course. But I've got a feeling that God has let me experience that divine sense of true belonging with my true love. as part of my training to help others realize, don't be part of substandard relationships. Don't be in it. Don't be in it. Like, just only have true love for yourself and true love for others, and be part of a situation or part of an interaction where there's actually authentic connection, and let everything else go. Even if it means you're really lonely. I'm lonely most of the time. I choose to have people not in my life unless we are on the same vibration, like this loving vibration, a healing vibration, an authentic vibration where we can say anything. Because we so I've probably gone on for too long. It's a big discussion, everyone. It's very painful. It's excruciating. I don't know how to explain how I even survived my pain. Like, when you truly love, the pain of love, one foot in the angst, one foot in the joy, that's one foot in love, and then one foot in the despair that comes from being in love, loving of life. Because when you really love life, you also feel the true pains in life. When you really love a being, you feel the true despair when that being chooses to go in shadow, 3D, low vibration, land. And so battery power 15. I'm going to shut this down now. I'm going to say goodbye and wish you adios, and we'll discuss this again. It's a really big topic, everyone. I actually think this is the bottom line reason why God wanted me to do my YouTube. So I've been deciphering the whole journey for months and months now. And because we've got to heal this planet. We've got to heal as well. There's so many dysfunctional relationships out there, so many dysfunctional interactions, and a lot of people who aren't actually letting themselves be treated with the grace and the love that they deserve. They're not being self-honouring, self-loving. They're self-sacrificing all the time to try to belong and fit into something, or, but it's not real belonging. Because how can you belong to something that's a charade and a facade and based on negativity and lies and low density? And, why? How? Yuck. Seriously. So I think that this is all about, we've got to heal this planet, everyone. We really need to heal this planet. And the way to heal the planet is to get everyone to focus on learning self-love, even if it means ending relationships, friendships, leaving the situational dynamic you've known forever, that you know so well. It's getting away from being small, getting away from the shadow world. Not the shadow world. Our shadow we need to ally with. Not get away from the shadow world. Get away from fighting the shadow within us. So get rid of the 3D density, the negative ego-based density that comes from resisting being authentic. I don't know if that makes sense. We'll talk about this. Oh, I'm really actually in a lot of pain. Anyway, we've got to go. It's going to get dark soon. I was unable to get any wood today, so from Lloydie, so I'm going to get a bag from Spud Shed, and I've got to light the fire before it gets dark, because as soon as it gets dark, it gets so cold. It's really nice now. But it's going to go. But yeah, we're still getting cold nights and really foggy, wintry, rainy days. But overall, winter is abating. We've probably got another 2 or 3 weeks of winter, which I'm glad, because I don't know if you can see I'm limping. I don't deal well with the cold. And adios amigos. Lots of love. We'll speak about this more. As I said, comment in my email topics that you want me to discuss. I'm a wealth of information, and one of these days I will write my book and my curriculum, and I'm very much looking forward to all of that. I need to keep my faith and hope, everyone. Like, it does waver. I get so tired, so overwhelmed. I waver, and my deep sadness of connection, like belonging to my love, my beautiful beloved, having my beloved by my side, my promised love by my side. This is an anguish that is with me every single second of every living moment, and all my good friends and my allied health team. Everyone is aware that this is an anguish. No one doubts it. They know I can barely breathe most of the time because of the absolute agony of it. But at the same time, it's what is, and it's God's journey, and it's, we in God's grace. Like today when I was screaming, I can't handle this anymore. You know, we're allowed to scream at God. We're allowed to go, God, this is too much. I can't handle it anymore. And that loud screaming, just, because I am just a human, right? But the bottom line is faith and trust, faith, trust, and honesty. Okay, everyone? Truth. Always truth. Truth and love. Truth, love, kindness. You know, they're the key. Truth, love, kindness, and humility. But humility comes from being truthful, loving, and kind. Okay? So truth, love, and kindness. You know, they're the three main elements of how to heal yourself and heal your relationship with everyone else and heal the world. Okay. Okay. Adios. Bye. Bye-bye. Keep well. God's bless. God's blessings. God's blessings. God's blessings. There's this little button up the top right-hand corner, and it's so hard to turn off. See ya.